Hello everyone. I hope everybody is doing good today, and we are going to see how I am going to use the Composer app. So it's going to be a think aloud session, and as I will be doing a few things here, you will get to learn about the various functionalities of the Composer app. So let's start by clearing this space. And I will start doing this by signing into the Composer app. And there are quite a few of them on this land. So after signing into one instance of the Composer app, I get a HUD on my left, and I can clear it. And you can see that the posters and the objects that were here are no longer visible. They've been deleted, okay? So we'll do the same for other Composer apps in this region. Okay, so we are done with this Composer app. That's why I clicked on Finish to hide the HUD. But now the problem that comes up is how do we find the other Composer apps on this region? So I am going to click on the little icon on my top left that has like a star logo, and that's going to show me where the other Composer apps are. And you will notice that at each Composer app you will have this big pillar that you can see. Okay, so we have one here. Oh, it's let me show you again. So you have one in the distance, one that's at the center, and the one that we just cleared. And now to sign into this the app at the center, for example, the Composer app at the center, I wait for the HUD to appear, and I'm going to delete the scene that was used, that was created using this app. So I click on Clear, and it's going to delete the whole, the whole region that we created. Okay. So now we are left with the last Composer app, and I'm going to sign into this one and clear it. And after we clear this, we'll start loading the various scenes and see how they actually, how they are created. So what do we have here? These are the modules for the Composer app. And okay, this one is not displaying too well. Okay, now you can see. Each one of these boxes here have got objects that appear in the menu of these Composer apps. Okay, so right now we are signed into the Composer app that actually yielded the building and the seating arrangements and lights, etc. So if I want to see which modules this Composer app here is talking to, I come here and look at which ones are enabled. And I can see that there are a few that are enabled. Okay? And in order for me to see how to access these objects, I can click on Create. And what you will see is a list of menus showing all the different objects that are accessible, okay, from the menu. So let's check out what we have. We have water jets. That's the first name on the list. And we have lamps. And then we have the meadow. The meadow actually is a meta category. So let me click on this, and you can see that it's got, subcategories, and and you'll find out that that's how they can be organized. Okay, so there is not a one-to-one mapping between how the items are displayed here and the names of the various modules. Okay, so as you can see, this module is not needed in this scene, so it's disabled. So it's not going to appear in the HUD. Okay, we have furniture. So furniture is enabled. Let's check out furniture. It says rotten here. Modern, traditional. And you have a whole set of seats. Okay? So let's go back to home. And let's try loading a building. So I click on File, and I click on Load, and you'll find that there are a list of files here. These files have been saved before, and each file represents a scene that you have created using the Composer app. Okay, but here I'm just going to try to load the building that was created before. And we'll wait for the pieces to appear. Okay. And you can see that all the elements of the building have appeared. You have the seating arrangements. You have lights. Okay. And after it's loaded, you'll find that everything is loaded here properly. Don't worry about the water level here. Okay. This can be controlled by the viewer at this time. And for now, I'm just demonstrating loading of scenes from these different apps. Okay, so now that I'm finished with this, I want to access the other Composer apps. Let's sign into the one that's here, that I have placed here, and I'm going to click on File and Load, and pick the first scene and wait for the whole scene to appear. And you can see the pieces appearing. Okay, so you have the trees, these water fountains, the mountains, everything is appearing as it should. And we can see that now we have this water feature at the center. Okay. All right. So if you look at the HUD on the left, you can see the number of objects that are loading. And in this scene, there are 233 objects. So we are waiting for all the objects to appear. Okay. So once that is done, there's still a few more objects to be loaded. All right. So all the objects have been loaded. Okay. And now we have the last Composer app scene to load. So I'm signing in directly here just by clicking the logging button because it was visible. It was not hidden. And now I'm going to load the exhibit. Okay? So let me hope that this is the right one. And you'll find that the exhibit is going to appear. Okay. So let's check this out. Let us say, well, let me walk first. Oh, I am actually in the water. So if I go up here, and let us say I am checking out my exhibit, and I don't like the order in which they have been displayed. I want to make a change. Okay? So I just click on the one that I don't like or that is misplaced, and I place it elsewhere. And I select another slide. I call it slide, but you can call it anything you want. The name we have chosen is signpost. So that's how we can do it as simply as possible. Note that we have a lot of tricks that we can use to help you make precise placement of your object. So if you wanted to place that signpost somewhere here at the center, you could just move these, what we call grid objects. We have 2D grid objects, and we also have 3D grid objects like this, cuboid, like this column here. And I'm going to select this and place it over here. I might say, hey, this is too low. Let me click somewhere else and try to put it a little bit above. And that's how I would do it. I would just raise its level. I could do this for all the displays. And it all depends. I'm just trying to show how simple it is. And once you are able to make your changes, you can save it as a file. So I'm going to save it as, let us say, first example for, let's put the date today, it's 15th December. And I'm just saving it. Now I'm going to clear. And you can see that the whole exhibit is gone. And now I'm going to load it again. And you will find that all the changes, have been recorded. Okay? So you pretty much can do the same thing for all other objects. Okay, we can try that. Let me finish, click on finish to hide all these grids and helper objects that we use, helper grids. So the main important point to realize here is that you can make changes to the scenes that you create. Okay? So I have illustrated here the ability to modify existing scenes. Okay? And you can also export these files. Okay, so if I click on File, I can click on Export, and I can click on this, for example, and I would be exporting this note card that I can share with somebody else who has the Composer app and the modules that contain objects that the scene uses. Okay? So that's worth noting right here. So let's have some more fun. Come down here. I'm going to sign into this the Composer app that was here. And the reason why we break it down in different sections, different Composer app instances, it's all, according to your own judgment. Okay? Somebody might have created, the same scene, but using a different style. Well, let us say here, we really don't like the way these lights have been placed, and I'm going to delete a few of them, or maybe just remove them. So I can select those. And let's say for some crazy reason, I want to replace them by lights of a different type. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll wait for the HUD to appear, because now there are a lot more objects that this scene uses, and I see that there is a category called lamps over here. And what I'm going to do, I can see that there are only 3 lamps. I see that there is a curved lamp over here. Okay, just for demonstration, I might say, okay, let me just try to see whether these lamps can work here. And I can see, oh, well, I'm sorry about those light seems to be too bright, so I'm going to turn off local lights for a moment. But just for demonstration, you can see that I can change this light. And obviously, it doesn't look too pretty, because this is actually a light to be used indoors. So I'm going to select that and just remove it. I can pretty much do the same thing for pretty much everything. So let's say I don't like yellow flowers and I just want to change them. I can select these flowers, or I might say, oh, well, I just want to change its rotation a little bit. I don't quite know how to change it. I can just click on random and see if I'm happy with it. I say, okay, maybe I'm happy with this, so I'm going to keep it. So everything is an object that you can select and move and change. That includes the pieces of land that you can move and adjust according to how much you want the adjustment to be. So if I click on, a large amount, I am able to move them by lot, etc. Okay, so all this was only to explain how easy it is to make changes to these environments and save the scene. One last thing here before I close this video, and remember that I want to also create a second part where I will be showing the creation from scratch of other objects. But here I'm just interested in showing you another opportunity for changing aspects of your scene. Let us say you want to see how this scene is going to look like in winter. So I've picked the snowy option here, and I'm going to click on apply. And by magic, you'll see that, so many objects have changed. Of course, you don't expect flowers in winter, so we can change that. And this raises a lot of questions, I know, but suffice to say right now here that we can change, pretty much any object very rapidly this way. So let's bring this back to spring, or, well, let's see drought first, because that's also kind of interesting. And let's go back to spring. So basically, the question that comes up here is, how do we create content from scratch? I will demonstrate that in my next clip. Here it was showing how you can use previously saved scenes, load them, and make changes to them, save them, or even add new objects to your scene. The question that you will have in your mind is, how do we create those modules, and maybe how we can make objects that is able to be textured so quickly and so rapidly. So that's a more advanced clip that we will show later on, and we will show how to create your own modules and your own objects. Okay, so that we grow this library of objects that people can use and share. All right, so for now, I'm just going to say bye, and I hope to see you soon next time. Okay.